Delta College holds as its key values diversity, integrity, respect, excellence, leadership, innovation, teamwork, and existing as a learning-centered community. The safety and security of all members of the college community, students, employees, and visitors is inextricably part of all of these values. Sexual misconduct in any form is prohibited and is in direct conflict with Delta College's values and diminishes the safety and security of all members of the college community. Prohibited behaviors include sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, sexual harassment, stalking. All students, faculty, staff, and visitors are expected to conduct themselves in a manner that does not infringe upon the rights of others. Delta College believes in a zero tolerance for sexual and gender-based misconduct. It is expected that all students, faculty, staff, and visitors will only engage in sexual activity that includes clear, knowing, and voluntary consent. Please note, our amorous relationship policy prohibits intimate relationships between employees and students. Consent is knowing, voluntary, and clear permission. Through word or action, to engage in mutually agreed upon sexual activity or contact. A person may withdraw consent at any time during sexual activity or contact through words or actions. If that happens, the other party must immediately cease the activity or contact. Pressuring another person into sexual activity can constitute coercion, force, or threat, which invalidates consent. Silence or the absence of resistance alone does not constitute consent. Consent to some forms of sexual activity should not be construed as consent for other kinds of sexual activities. Being or having been in a dating relationship with the other party does not mean that consent for sexual activity exists. Consent to engage in sexual activity with one person does not imply consent to engage in sexual activity with another, nor does previous consent to sexual activity imply consent to sexual activity in the future. Anyone who sees, hears, or knows someone that may have experienced sexual misconduct should report it. The reporting individual does not need to be the victim. Sexual misconduct should be reported to any faculty member, the Title IX coordinator, public safety, any mandated reporter. You will be able to identify mandated reporters as they have the yellow sign posted in their office. Reports can also be made to local agencies such as sexual assault advocacy centers, hospitals, police departments. Upon notification, Delta College will implement interim measures to stop any unwelcomed behaviors. Delta College will conduct an impartial investigation to analyze whether unwelcome sexual conduct created a hostile environment. The evidence must demonstrate that it is more likely than not the conduct occurred, also known as the preponderance of the evidence standard. Unless otherwise notified, all Title IX investigations will be completed within 60 days. Sometimes alcohol and drugs are used by perpetrators to perpetrate sexual violence. If you see or feel that someone could become a complainant of sexual misconduct or is being victimized, you are a bystander. Sometimes, as bystanders, we don't know what we should or can do to prevent, stop, or mitigate sexual misconduct. However, when bystanders get involved, their interventions can save a person from further trauma and/or save a person's life. Be a proactive bystander. Someone who is incapacitated due to alcohol, drugs, is asleep or unconscious, or because of an intellectual or other disability that prevents them from having the capacity to give consent, cannot give consent. If you see someone who is too intoxicated to give consent, enlist their friends to help them leave safely. It is concerning when someone talks about or plans to target another person. Intervene safely. You can create a distraction, draw attention to the situation, separate the people in which you are concerned, or call 911. Sanctions are consequences put in place to help prevent future prohibited behaviors. Any person found responsible for violating Title IX and the Delta College sexual misconduct procedures will receive sanctions. Possible sanctions include but are not limited to warnings, loss of privileges, educational training, reflection papers, probation, suspension, expulsion. Our policy prevents retaliation of any kind. Retaliation is defined as any adverse action taken against a person participating in a Title IX investigation. Retaliation for filing a complaint or advocating for a right protected under Title IX is also prohibited. To view our sexual misconduct procedures, go to our website www.delta.edu/Title IX. If you have questions or want to report sexual misconduct, contact our Title IX coordinator, Lois Brown, at 989-686-9547 or equityoffice@delta.edu. Welcome to Delta College.